Hi Cancer, welcome to your love reading for November 2018. Everything you need to know about this reading is in the description box below. Two more. There. Ten of Pentacles reversed. So as it relates to love, you could be feeling dissatisfaction or discontentment as far as, you're just not content or feeling fulfilled about maybe something that's ended or that you're involved in now. You're just feeling like this isn't fulfilling me as far as this home that I'm sharing with this person. Or for those of you that are single, it's like, I'm just not happy being single. I want that connection. I want that partnership. It gives me a feeling of security. Okay, so we've got Six of Swords, Five of Cups, Queen of Wands reversed, Queen of Swords reversed, two Queens reversed, oh boy. The Hierophant reversed, Two of Cups reversed. Ooh, Cancer. Two of Wands, Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. Yay. All right, hold on a minute. Let me see here, because we got two sixes. I think that means success. Two sixes means, where are you? Oh, no, it does not. Two sixes means irritability. Let's see what else we got here. We got two fives. Let's check that out. Two fives and two queens reversed. So two fives. Is it two fives reversed? No, two fives upright. Two fives is vigils, and two queens reversed is what? No, it's not sincere friends. That's the other one. Two fives upright is vigil. Two queens reversed is work. Okay. So we got vigil, work, and irritability. Are you feeling dissatisfied about work and it's become a chore? It's become work. Interesting. All right, just keep that in mind, that there could be something that's really on your mind. You're holding vigil for it emotionally or mentally, and you're kind of consumed by work, and you're just irritable and cranky and feeling out of sorts and discontent, just saying. All right, so first 10 days of November, we've got you mentally transitioning out of a situation. Whatever's had its hold on you in the past, as far as like, gosh, I just can't quit this person emotionally or mentally, this could have everything to do with the Venus retrograde, just saying. I am seeing that across the board, that the first 15 to 20 days of the month, people are just going through it, and there's like all the heavies are over here, and then they transition out of it in the last part. So I think the retrograde ending somewhere between November 16th and the 20th, I think that has a lot to do, that's a Venus retrograde. I think it has a lot to do with being able to finally feel free emotionally and mentally across the board. With everybody. Okay, so this is you transitioning out of whatever has had a hold on you in the past. You're using logic and intuition, not emotion. These are things that are coming over you as far as realizations. Some of you might even be relying on your friends, or it's taken hearing from your friends or a counselor or wise counsel to help you transition out of that, to put things into perspective for you. You're feeling... Well, some of you might be feeling angry and salty about it now. You've got perspective. Sometimes this could mean feeling, feeling all over the place emotionally and not being clear-headed and not being decisive and just being completely emotional about a situation. But coupled with this, being able to transition out of that, I think it's not about being overly emotional. I think this is about, like, wait a minute. I have not been treated fairly in this situation, or I am on the warpath. I'm not just going to be perceptive and independent and fair and just and concise and, civil and civic. I am going to be taking care of myself on the warpath, letting everyone know under no uncertain terms, or at least who this applies to, that do not mess with me. I mean, no more. Okay, so this is probably someone that's just had this epiphany or realization, and now it's just probably not best to mess with you. And the advice is to plan for the future, to basically look at what your prospects are for the future. Since this is dealing with just mental clarity and security, I'm feeling like this is you being open to what you want, but not necessarily having your eye on someone. Okay, so then we come to the middle of the month, like the 10th through the 20th-ish. And I think the weight of this sort of transitioning and breaking free and maybe getting over this being angry and just being like, wait a second, I was really treated unfairly. Like this was, now comes the emotional aftermath where you're feeling kind of disappointed. You're feeling just maybe some regret, feeling like, well, now what? You're kind of set adrift. You're feeling lost, you're emotional, and you're feeling like there really is that broken connection with that person, or just in general, like none of the people that you're reviewing your relationships with, none of the past, you're just feeling like maybe I'm not meant for marriage, maybe I'm not meant for connection, or I realize now with this situation over here that it really we weren't on the same page. We didn't have the same values or belief system. Okay, this is you feeling lost or reviewing your situation and feeling that disappointment and despair, and feeling like because of the failure that you're not meant for commitment at this time, or just, maybe losing faith in conventional partnerships, okay? And we got 2 5s here. The advice is, this is about feeling lost and scattered and feeling like you're just insecure, either emotionally or financially, stability-wise. So I think, so that's how it feels, but this also suggests that you can come in out of the cold, that there is help available, okay? This is just about you feeling disconnected, but that if you just take a few more steps, redemption, that feeling of connectedness again, that being salvaged, is just a few steps away. So it's like you're halfway there, because this is a 5 and there's 10s. This is saying that, I know it feels like that, but there is help available. Sometimes this card shows up when people know that help is right there, but they're wanting to just kind of they're wanting this, not wanting it per se, but they're just feeling like, yeah, I know that is right around the corner, but I just don't want to make the effort because I'm just really kind of feeling blue and down and like meh about things, okay? So it could be that too, to where you're just like, oh, wait, the pity party hasn't worked itself out of my system yet. I'll show up there in a couple of days. I'll access that help in a couple of days, but right now I'm just really wanting to stay over here with my tears and my beers and emotionally process this, okay? So you do have help. It is there. You're feeling like you don't. You know it's there, but you're just wanting to be left alone, okay? Everybody just leave me alone. I'll be there in a minute. So then we come to the last 10 days of November, and this is... This is again repeating this energy right here, except for being in review and being specific to that situation where you're just like, oh, hell no, I was treated unfairly. This could be man or woman. This isn't about, dogging men here, dogging either one. It's just whoever this applies to. This is in review of that situation. This becomes with everything now. So this is like, okay, I'm not going to be that wallflower. I'm not going to be just gotten one over on anymore. And this could be man or woman again. So instead of it being like this, where you're getting out there, it's all inclusive, you're enacting, you're creating, you're proactive. This is about being imbalanced with that you're being more aggressive than assertive, that you're not initiating, you're rather reacting. You're not creating, you're reacting. You're not being proactive, you're being strategic, okay? And it's because you're feeling like that again with this, there was not that connection there. There really wasn't that love there. And maybe some of you are out there having a lot of fun and not being committed. This also a lot of times is about someone who cheats, or someone who does not have a specific commitment, who doesn't want one. If there is one, they're still going to go out there and do what they want. Because now you might be feeling like it's not the time for you to have that connection, that soulmate connection with someone to foster that love, or Some of you might be feeling like you got treated unfairly. Well, obviously, treated fairly and treated. It's like that's not where it's at for me right now, that connection. And this is pretty bold for Cancers, because Cancers love that home, emotional security, that connectedness to that partner. They can be very nurturing and very all-inclusive. So for you to not want this is kind of a big deal, Cancer. I'm just saying. For you to want to get out there and just get after it and be, just marking your territory, and that's typically not like you, okay? You're much more receptive, much more nurturing, you're much more receptive rather than aggressive or, not deceptive, but, anyway, you're much more receptive rather than being assertive or aggressive about things, typically. No shame, no judgment, just this is not typically the energy you would associate with Cancer, women or men. Okay, so we're feeling that lack of connection here, feeling like that's just not where it's at. And here is balance being restored. So we go from feeling like being set adrift and sad and not wanting any assistance, not feeling like I'm ready for that help yet. I just want to be left alone. I'm still kind of just not feeling anything, to I'm going to do what's right for me. So we start off with 6s, we end with 6s. This is about, so especially since we're starting with the 6 and we're ending with the 6, 6s are about, what are they? I think 6s are about success. I'll have to look that up. Sorry. I think it's about success and order restored, that sort of thing. But I could be wrong. Okay, so it's about balance, kind of like 2s are. It's about cooperation, harmony, connectedness, balance restored, feeling like whatever shenanigans the 5 brought, whatever instability and conflict and loss the 5 brought, now we're coming full circle and balance is restored, and now we're ready for the next 3 suits before we end up at that, or 3 suits, 3 mini journeys before we end up at that 10, okay? So we are now ready for the reflection, the spirituality, the wisdom, the order that 7s can bring, the observation, the investigation, all of that 7s bring, right? We're now ready for that because we transitioned through all this mess. Balance has been restored. We're ready for the next phase. Just my little 2 cents. Anyway, in the past, you might have been thinking about leaving a relationship. So we're looking at the past now. You might have been thinking about leaving the relationship and you just weren't happy. Maybe you were acting like you were on the warpath. You were very sad because you knew the relationship was over and you were trying to transition out. You just didn't know how to. And then we come to the present, what you're dealing with right now, or whenever you view this, where for November, that you're angry, specific to this situation. This was not a love connection. This was not, maybe it once was, but somebody's not doing their part. The connection isn't there anymore. The commitment isn't there anymore. The love isn't there anymore. This is not, you're no longer feeling like the soulmate connection, that unified love anymore. And so now we come to the future, or what we're going to do now, which is we're going to start thinking about ourselves and plan, and we might go through a bit of a funk, and we know that help is out there, but we want to really try and do it ourselves. We don't want to have to need anybody, because that's what's got us here before. At least that's what you're feeling like. I don't want to be connected to anybody. I want to do this solo. I really need to, I'm not going to be able to move on until I feel all the feels and I get over it. And that's what's going to restore balance for me. That's what's going to solidify when I feel my way through this, when I realize that this was not a connection. That's what's going to bring me full circle, because it's kind of the situation that you're not going to be able to let go of it until it lets go of you. And a lot of that is working it out mentally. Okay. So once you work it out mentally, working it out emotionally, and working it out emotionally, it's going to take up a lot of mental energy. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be on your mind a lot, because what is too much for you to feel, you're going to be processing then emotionally. It's going to be in the background all the time until it comes full circle. Sorry, I know this is kind of a roundabout way of saying it. You actually get to the point where you can handle the disappointment. You're alone for a while. You're just like, meh, I just want to be left alone. I need to be left alone right now. Then you can come out of it and balance is restored and you're able to progress. Not in the next relationship per se, but just about for yourself. For feeling like, okay, I feel like I can look at the future in such a way that I'm not being pessimistic about it. I feel like, okay, I'm okay again, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I think there was a love there at one time, and it really let you down, and it really made you feel like, well, I don't know what to do now. This is you transitioning out of that and feeling like, okay, I feel like I can at least do right by myself, or the next partnership I get into, I feel like I'm ready for it to be balanced. I'm not going to repeat the same mistakes. Any more advice for Cancer? Hanged Man reverse and Seven of Swords reverse. So yeah, somebody was acting like a victim in this relationship. Somebody was not owning up to their share of what went wrong or what was wrong, problematic in the relationship, and you have broken free. That also could speak to them having mental issues or mood disorder. You might have felt unbalanced about it too, like, what's wrong with me? You know, that's this energy right here too. But just know that you have broken free, that you have been set free, okay? There's only one heavy here. There's only one. So it could be that this is not final yet, that it does come back around for you. But if and when it does, if this situation presents itself again, you will be able, you're ready, just because you've processed it and there's a clarity about it now where you realize, no, this is going to be fair. This is going to be where we're giving and sharing, and we're both being generous with each other, whether it's with that same person or another relationship you get involved in. For these cards, this is a healing Whispers of Healing Oracle. I'm reading what it says, and then I'm saying to yourself afterwards, because a lot of the readings that I've done, these are not worth going back to. So for a couple in crisis, a lot of times these are really appropriate. But for somebody that's transitioning out of an unhealthy situation and then finding balance restored for themselves and looking for the next phase, it kind of doesn't really apply, especially if I don't see anyone new coming in here, okay? So just know that whatever's coming out here, it can be applied to yourself, like new love or express interest to yourself, for yourself, okay? It's like that game you play in between the sheets when you're at, you know, some kind of party and you go around and say these stupid phrases, in between the sheets. Yeah, okay. I'm 13. But you know what I mean. They do that at baby showers, I think. Wedding showers, that's what, bridal showers. Look at your pattern in relationships. To yourself, no. Look at your pattern in relationships. It requires inner strength to recognize that you need to change or modify your behavior. Word, because, like I said, we start off transitioning and we end up having balance restored, or a clearer mental picture, clearer emotional picture, being grounded. And that could be that in the relationships, you give more than you get. And it's this, someone is on the take instead of it being reciprocal. Okay, so for November, this is about looking at that and realizing what your patterns are. And instead of being the one that overgives and accepts little, leading to this disconnected feeling with your partner, you're going to be in a position coming out of this where you feel like, okay, I'm able to recognize those signs. I know I can see the red flags. I'm not falling for it. I want someone that's going to give what I give. The many masks we wear, knowing oneself, self-identity or self-awareness. This is about, okay, so we all wear masks per se. We all present ourselves in a certain way it's like your rising sign, right? What you wear when you go out into the world and what you meet people socially with. It's not wearing your heart on your sleeves. It's just like, okay, in this situation, I'm this way, or I act this way, or I have this persona, but at home I'm able to be like this, whereas if I go, you know, that sort of thing, right? So it's all about knowing the defined parameters for yourself and how you behave in certain situations, the masks that you wear, and being able to be with someone and around people, by and large, who you can be your authentic self with, or who you are. So in terms of love or relationship, this is about not getting involved anymore. If we're looking at patterns, not getting involved anymore with people that you feel like you have to be a certain way for. You feel like you have to give more than you get just to have a safe place in that relationship or to be valued in that relationship. This is about being able to be who you are so that when you leave or transition out of a relationship, you're not on the warpath because you feel taken for granted. This is about, oh, it just wasn't what I wanted. It just didn't work out. And feeling this way because when you try to be something you're not, well, we all know how that goes, right? And you don't have to be any more than who you are in a relationship. You're fine just the way you are, who you are. You're generous by nature anyway, so you don't need to be extra for anybody, all right? You are fine the way you are. Okay, Cancer, this was very long-winded. I hope it was helpful. I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you got something out of this. Everybody across the board is transitioning. This is all about someone plumbing the depths for their own, just wanting to break patterns, wanting to find a secure, like that stable feeling for themselves so that the next partnership, the next relationship they get into is not this. Okay, once again, thank you for stopping by. Good luck with this. Take care.